Welcome back. Tomorrow, President Trump will make his first visit to Wisconsin since January, and 2 days after Vice President Mike Pence's Faith in America event yesterday. Here to give us some insight on what Trump's visit might mean to the Northwoods and the entire state is Governor Scott Walker. Governor, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm well. Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
So why don't we start off a little bit about the Faith in America event? What was the goal for you and Vice President Pence?
Well, a combination of things, certainly talking about just faith in general, getting America back on our feet again, that faith plays a big role in that. But also, I think, not faith not only from a religious standpoint, but faith in the American people. And that given the opportunity, given the chance. I mentioned one of Coach Lombardi's great quotes. When we think about him saying success isn't everything, it's the only thing. But on top of that, years later, he said that it's not whether you get knocked down that matters, it's whether you get back up. And that's what Vice President Pence was talking about yesterday. The American people are getting back up on their feet again. Certainly President Donald Trump's going to talk about that tomorrow. It's all about jobs. You're talking about last month, 2.5 million new jobs, the largest retail growth month ever in the history of the United States. And being here the last couple of days, in Pewaukee yesterday with Mike Pence, tomorrow with Donald Trump in Marinette and Green Bay. It's all about jobs and getting this economy going again.
Now, at the election time, the last election time, people or Wisconsin seemed to be more energetic and supportive of the president. Now that seems to have dropped. What do you think the president has to do to build that energy back up?
Well, remember the Marquette University Law School poll that came out today that was just referenced the week before the election showed the president down by 6 points to Hillary Clinton. And of course, he won. He carried the state of Wisconsin, the first time a Republican had carried our state since Ronald Reagan back when I was in school. So the fact of the matter is that even though the poll shows he's down to Joe Biden, to me, if you look at the way the poll was 4 years ago, 6 points, 8 points, it's about where he was when he carried the state. In the end, though, what as polls show us in June doesn't really matter. It's what's going to happen in November. And I firmly believe as the economy continues to grow and as we continue to get safer and healthier and we get past the coronavirus and all the challenges with it, this president's going to do well, just as he did recovering from the recession we inherited from Barack Obama and Joe Biden.
Yeah, and Governor, the GOP police reform bill failed in the Senate today. You recently stepped out with the other GOP members in favor of police reform. You also did an informal Twitter survey asking reform or defund. 79% said we're in favor of defunding the police. Is the GOP and by extension you out of touch, or were you being trolled?
Of course I was being trolled. That's like all the handful of people, the less than 1/2 of 1% of people in the state that follow Twitter and that survey. Of course we were trolled. The bottom line is people across the board overwhelmingly want us to reform the police. They don't want us to defund the police. That's true no matter what segment you're talking about, whether it's in the city, whether it's in the suburbs, or whether it's in rural areas. Frankly, it goes across ethnic and racial lines as well. People don't want to get rid of law enforcement. They want to make sure that law enforcement protects and serves, which is exactly what they're supposed to be about. And that's why it's an absolute disgrace that the United States Senate Democrats blocked a bill. Senator Tim Scott had a bill that included, in fact, he actually added an amendment today that referenced every one of the concerns they mentioned on the floor of the Senate yesterday, and they still wouldn't allow it to come up for a vote. That's just showing they don't care about policy. All they really care about is stoking the political flames out there. That is bad news here in Wisconsin and across the country. We've shown in Wisconsin, I actually signed years ago the very first and one of the most significant reforms in the entire country. It was done with bipartisan support to provide independent reviews anytime there's an office-related death. We need to do more things like that, not only here in Wisconsin, but across the country.
Governor, thank you so much for your time. We are out of time at the moment, so I'm going to have to let you go. We're going to take a quick break.